Hello, welcome to Abdow Avenue. I'm Jason Abdow, and before we get on with the review, I just wanted to make a quick announcement that Abdow Avenue now officially has a Twitter. So if you have a Twitter and you're interested in following up with me, seeing how the channel's going, videos I'm about to post, and just keep being updated with that kind of stuff, please follow me at Abdow Avenue. I will include a link to that in the description below. Now we're moving on with the review. We've got a big one today. We're going to be talking about the latest album from Tyler, the Creator, Flower Boy, formerly known as Scumfuck Flower Boy. Before I even pressed play on this album, there was so much controversy, think pieces, just so many general opinions going on around this album, and none of it really about the music itself. A lot of it actually about Tyler and the stuff he was saying on this album. Obviously some very personal, introspective stuff. I was very curious what Flower Boy would have in store. I would not really consider myself the biggest Tyler, the Creator fan, or even the biggest fan of Odd Future. Obviously I've loved projects from Frank Ocean, who's come from Odd Future, and also Earl Sweatshirt. I'm a fan of his first album, Doris. Not to get sidetracked, Tyler, the Creator, he's been a little hit or miss with me. I can recognize something like Wolf is a mostly enjoyable album, but I wasn't really the biggest fan of Goblin. Even if I appreciated some of the production on Cherry Bomb, overall I would say that album was a bit of a mess. I really do not like that album. So I really had no expectations going into Flower Boy. I didn't even listen to the singles going in, but I've got to say that Tyler, the Creator, had absolutely floored me with this album. I was so impressed with what he was able to deliver here, and I never thought I'd be able to say that about an album from Tyler, the Creator of all people. And look, I know Tyler, the Creator, in his personal life and in his music has said some things that obviously I don't agree with, and I'd honestly be shocked if he agreed with. He said some pretty repulsive things, and I'm not gonna hold that against him. And the reason for that is that one, this is obviously a very different album. This is its own thing, and I feel like it's a little unfair for me to hold his past work against him when I feel like it's not very relevant to this project. And also I feel like Flower Boy is showing a mature side of Tyler. He's, I believe, 26 now, and you know, he was my age when he started making music. He was younger than me when he was really getting going with Odd Future and started getting big and famous. I mean, could you really blame him for what would end up becoming? Can you really blame him for saying the things he said, and he's so young? And you know, honestly, even if you are completely unaware of any of his past work and any of the past things he said, you'd be shocked after just listening to this album with the kind of stuff he used to do before. And that's not to say that Tyler, the Creator fans will have nothing to enjoy on this record. There's definitely songs that hint to the heavier style that he used to do, definitely the more hip-hop leaning songs such as Who Dat Boy, which was the lead single featuring A$AP Rocky, and I Ain't Got Time. And both of those songs are some of the best on this entire album. Starting off with Who Dat Boy, we have Tyler, the Creator, you know, he's really delivering some very solid bars. The production is great on here. It's really chilling. It has like this minute-long intro, and it just really starts to build up to this really great beat. And Tyler rides it great. And then A$AP Rocky, of all people, someone who I really haven't been that crazy about, music-wise. He really impressed me. He started off kind of doing his normal mellow kind of thing, and then the beat just like revved up a gear, and he just kept up with it, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing from him. And overall, yeah, that's a really good song. It ends a bit abruptly, but I think that was a little intentional, and it really bridges into the next song, Pothole, very well. And I Ain't Got Time has, again, great production. It's just really like a cacophony of sounds just all coming at you, and Tyler is just going crazy. This is definitely one of the hardest hitting moments on this entire album in terms of flow and lyrics. I mean, so much is being thrown at you, it's crazy. And, you know, he really matches the production, and I've got to say, the thing about Tyler that's always impressed me is how great of a producer he is. And he produced this entire album on his own, wrote most of it on his own, and I've got to say, this is the best Tyler, the Creator, has been as a producer. He really definitely made beats and picked instrumentation, which there is a lot of really lush instrumentation all over this thing. And he really picked instrumentation that would complement him well. And I was incredibly impressed by that. Look at a song like See You Again, and Garden Shed, and even Boredom. They're all, they're much slower songs. They rely more on Tyler's singing voice. And yeah, Tyler's singing voice, I was really impressed. I mean, he's no Frank Ocean. You throw that out there. He's not the world's best singer. You can tell that if it wasn't for the production, he wouldn't be able to make it on his own as a singer. But the production really compliments him, and he's really able to deliver some memorable stuff on here. And the hooks all over this project are so catchy. See You Again. I mean, I can't stop singing that song. And the songs are just so instantly catchy. I felt like by the second or third time I was listening to this, I was singing along to every single song. And that's something you'll notice once you start listening to the album. It's just so many great hooks. Even on a slower track like Boredom, it's a 5.5 minute, slow song. You just get caught up in the chorus. I'm loving that song. And what really makes this album great, obviously, and what is making everyone talk about it, is the lyrical content. And there's no way to talk about this album without escaping it. And yes, the big thing everyone's talking about is that Tyler, the Creator, has come out as gay. Even I've talked about this already in my previous video, talking about Consequence of Sound's review of this album, which I am very proud of. You should check it out, link in the description for that as well. Side note. So yeah, I mean, is Tyler gay? I don't know him. I can't tell you how he feels about that. But what I can tell you is, if I'm going off of what he's presenting here in this album, yeah, I think he's making it very obvious how he feels. Sure, maybe he's bisexual, maybe he's gay. I'm not here to judge, and honestly, I don't care one way or the other. But I'm just, for the sake of continuity with this album, I'm gonna say he is. And the way he paints being gay in the rap community, it's not really made a big deal. He's surprisingly quiet about it, which is the last thing I would have expected from Tyler, the Creator. He's not one known for subtlety. And yeah, I feel like the moments where he hints at his sexuality, they're quick. And with the exception of a song made like Garden Shed, where I feel like it's a little more outward, it's letting you know that he's been hiding this for so long, and now, he just feels like he needs to get it out, and he feels that, he's felt this way for so long, and he just figured it would eventually go away, and it just hasn't yet. And, that's totally understandable, and I think he paints that image really well. And I would say this album isn't so much about his sexuality, but instead of the loneliness that he has been suffering. I know he's been open about depression and stuff in the past, and you can definitely get a lot of hints at that. And there's some genuinely heartbreaking stuff on this. Just look at a song like 911, Mr. Lonely, which is another great song that was released as a single. He's really just singing about loneliness, and just singing about how he wishes that, he would have someone. And he has a line on here which, is a little played out, where he said the loudest guy in the room is often the loneliest guy in the room if you ask him. And I think that's really telling when you look at Tyler, the Creator, in his career in the past, because he's obviously been known for being so vocal. So I think that's just such an introspective way to put that. And even right from the beginning on the song Foreword, which is another great song, he's really reflecting on how much longer he's really got to be relevant, how much longer his fans are going to keep paying attention to him. And, he paints this in a really interesting way. He's kind of like stringing these bars together and very effective in creative ways. And you'll notice as soon as you listen. And it just shows this is going to be a creative and introspective album. And again, on the song See You Again, with lyrical contributions from Kaylee Lucas? I am butchering that name, which is a shame because she is a wonderful singer and she really does help elevate the song. And the song, this is another one that's just incredibly catchy. I can't stop singing along to it. Even though it's really so sad, he's just singing about how he sees this person who he feels for and he just can't get their image out of their head and they just kind of only live it as fantasy. And it's sad. But again, his singing voice is just so great. It really does capture it. Capture all those emotions so well. And one of my personal, maybe even my favorite on this whole album, November, that's really just seeing Tyler talking about going back into this earlier state where he was happy. And I know he mentioned during the promotion for Cherry Bomb that he wasn't depressed anymore, and maybe that was his November, as he calls this time when he was happy and at ease, and now he's just begging to go back to that. And it's a heartbreaking sentiment and something I really would never in a million years have expected to hear from Tyler, the Creator, in the way we're hearing it. As far as issues I have with this album, there really aren't that many. It took me a little while to get used to that Lil Wayne feature on the minute-long song Droppin' Seeds. But Lil Wayne is great. I mean, he's only rapping for about 20 seconds. But they're great 20 seconds, and I think they do kind of push this garden metaphor that's all over this album of dropping seeds, as the title would imply. And the song Glitter might not have been a perfect way to really end the album. I know there is one more song on, which is a extended instrumental, which I do really like. I think that captures the idea of living in today, as the song's called. But yeah, back to Glitter. It's supposed to be like this voice message he's leaving for someone he really cares about, and obviously that comes across. I just think it's a little odd way to end the album. Especially because it had this kind of hopeful instrumentation at the end on it, and that song kind of ends on this sad note of him kind of getting this message saying that the voice message that he was leaving for this person did not go through because of bad connection, and you can make what you will there. But overall, I really don't have a lot of complaints about this album. This is one of the best things I've heard all year, and I just cannot believe how much I'm loving this album. I've been listening to it non-stop, and yeah, this will definitely be high up on my year-end list. I am in love with this album. I never thought I would say that about a Tyler, the Creator album, but he's done it. He's definitely matured and evolved, and I just can't wait to see where he goes from here. Not just in his own music, but maybe see who else he'll end up producing with. Because I'm telling you, his production all over this, he did it all himself, and it was so great. So yeah, this album's easily getting an A from me, and I can't believe I've already given out 2 A's on this channel. They're the only 2 A's I would say from this entire year, and they're both great. So yeah, definitely high recommendation for Flower Boy. Check it out if you have not yet. And again, like and subscribe for this channel. Follow me on Twitter now. And I can't wait to see you again. Reference to the album. And thank you so much for watching. See ya.